Good morning. We're live on YouTube, and we're going to go live on Facebook as well. We're going to go Atlanta Falcons on SI and Scott Kennedy Sports. See if we can reach a few of our meta friends out there before we get going on a victory Monday here in Atlanta. Gorgeous early fall Monday. Welcome in, everybody. This is the Falcons Podcast. It is Monday, coming off of a win over the Washington Commanders, which hasn't happened in a while, and heading into a bye week where things have calmed down a little bit. I said last week that this was going to be an easy podcast because we were at a crossroads with this Atlanta Falcons team. You should beat a banged up Washington Commanders team at home with a backup quarterback. You should. Yet the Falcons weren't favored at home because of how bad they looked the week before. It was a crossroads game. And this doesn't mean the Falcons are going to go on and win the playoff, go to the playoffs, but it certainly shows that they're capable of being a better team than they were against the Carolina Panthers. Nick, how are you doing, my friend? It's good to see you today.
Oh, man, it's been an eventful move to Denver. We're still waiting on our stuff. Hopefully we get to find out today that it's on the way. So the way it works is that they take all the stuff to a warehouse in the big city location. And once they have enough items like to fill a truck, they'll send it their way. So we have to have another person heading towards Salt Lake City or Denver or the area before they unload the warehouse and send the stuff. So we're still waiting for all our gear in Seattle, I believe. So that's frustrating. I'm hardwired right now, but I'm on my other computer because they don't make laptops with Ethernet ports anymore. So yeah, I guess I could get a converter, but it's just been chaos. The day the movers were here, our cat got a urinary blockage. Found blood on his litter box. The dog ate 14 grapes in about 2 seconds after the kid set down his bowl. So we had to get his stomach pumped. And are you a Star Wars nerd, Scott?
Yeah, not a complete nerd, but yeah.
Yeah. So the very episode 4, whatever, they talk about like the area they're supposed to shoot in the Death Star, no bigger than a womp rat, whatever the heck a womp rat is. That's where the dog puked in the car. So I was and Denver had its heaviest rain day in like 5 years. And I'm out there in the dark scooping vomit out of the hole in the back of the Jeep with my hands. And also the kid has hand, foot, mouth now after being in daycare for like 3 days. So we're here, but it's been eventful. But I'm happy to see the Falcons win.
Who was the biblical person that was tested all the time? I feel like that's you right now. It wasn't Job. Job had patience, but there was a biblical figure that was tested all the time.
You know what?
That's Nick nowadays.
I am tested, but my wife is more tested than me. So God bless her. I feel so bad because but yeah, no, we're here, and hopefully the internet and everything holds out. But I'm just happy to be here right now. A little bit of normalcy for me. I'm on the ground. The computer is on an air mattress. I'm not being held hostage right now, Scott, despite what the camera looks like. Yeah, we're getting by. So appreciate it. And God, I'll tell you, I miss my Lion coffee. Right now I'm drinking some instant coffee because my coffee pot is still in Seattle, and I don't want to.
Everything sucks, dude. Yeah, You see rookie mistakes. You pack your laptop.
I have my laptop.
You pack your computer.
Yep. But
you pack your coffee.
Yeah.
And then that's really it.
Laptop or Wi-Fi and modem would be nice. Right now we have borrowing a modem. So here we are.
All right. Well, we go live every Monday and Wednesday, and now Garrett's got a show on Tuesdays and Thursdays because we like saying hello to everybody. So we're going to do that real quick, including some new members. Dantes Jackson, he's got the victory Monday. He finishes off that red and black with a big happy smile. Good to see you, Dantes. James here, he says, good morning from Naples. Hope you're staying cool down there. It is cool. It's just perfect here. Y'all, this is when I moved out to California, I was like, no, I'm not moving back because this is what California and Southern California felt like almost every day, days like this. But you appreciate them more when you get a little bit of change. And plus, I miss the green. It doesn't rain. I like the green, not everything being covered in dust. Good to see you, James. Austin, hope you are doing well. Bucks, Rays, Bolts. Congratulations, and you guys won. And the Buccaneers had multiple chances, and they blew it. I think you're still ahead of the game, though, Tampa, as far as the close games, winning those out. If you win 3 out of 4 one-score games, you're going to be all right.
And
you're going to be all right. But now all of a sudden it's a 1-game lead. It's 1.5, but the Falcons will get a chance to play to try and even that up. But it's a 1-game lead, 2-2 instead of 1-3. And you're talking about coaching changes, general manager changes. This was a big game. And, it's another one of those, Nick, in hindsight, where you say, well, of course, the Commanders were all banged up. They had their Marcus Mariota at quarterback, for God's sakes. They were missing Terry McLaurin. Of course, you beat them. Who cares? Well, we care. We absolutely care. There was no guarantee they were going to beat that team. Going and losing 30-0 in Carolina proves that you can't take anything for granted. And again, the Falcons were underdogs in this game. So, yeah, each game matters. And as you kept saying, it is a week-to-week league for sure. But the inconsistency in the small margins, the inconsistencies will end up biting you in the butt. And that's why you've got 7 straight losing seasons, because that ends up being consistent. The overall poor football ends up being consistent in an inconsistent week. Yeah. So John Harold, new member, good to see you. Thank you, John. Wanted to say thank you for that. Next Monday, I guess we'll do it on Monday, especially on a bye week. It'd be a good time to do it. I'm going to round up all the members. If you want to sign up, it's in the description wherever you're watching this. Become a YouTube member. And I'm going to put everybody's hat in a digital ring and raffle off a big thing of Lion Coffee. So that's like a $33 value. These things are pretty awesome, just as a thank you. And then we're going to start doing more members-only videos starting in October as well. So thank you very much. Edward Brown coming in with a super chat. Thank you, Edward. He says the Bijan TD from the back of the end zone shot was crazy. The one from the top of the roof, the roof up there was pretty crazy. He's just overall pretty crazy. But I also, the shirt I wore today, I usually have a collared shirt on, but today I went with my Angry Run shirt is the one that I went with, because I like watching the closer after trying to lay a glove on Bijan. Here comes a guy that lets you lay a glove on him, and you don't want to. You don't want to lay a glove on Tyler Algier. So it was fun. And Nick, I just rewatched the first quarter, and I think it was, a 10-0 lead, and I think it was something like 15 runs to 8 passes. That's the identity of this team. Run the ball, set up the pass, use the deep shots. You don't have to get Michael Penix going. If you play your game, he will get going. And if you run the ball, it's his best quarterback's best friend is the run, Nick.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They were way too Penix heavy last week. Now, granted, sometimes the games can happen like that. I know it was close, but Tyler Algier with 1 run in the game, and that Panthers defensive front is, they have some heavier bodies on them compared to the Commanders. So it was good to get back to that basics. I'm glad that we can, give a week where Zac Robinson is his head's not being called for, and shout out to the receivers as well. I mean, the Falcons, I've been gone, Scott, because I've been, dealing with all the stuff over here. But Ike Hilliard fired, right? Wide receiver coach, and the wide receivers
legend Ike Hilliard.
Yep, wide receivers looked a lot better today, so they did make a change. Something that we were skeptical would happen. Was not obviously not a huge one, a positional coach, but yeah, no, that's it was good to see the offense look like they did, and especially the run game. Obviously, there was faults in this game too, but the offense overall, especially Drake London, hello. I think it was Kevin Harlan. I was texting you London calling after that, and then he said it a few minutes later. I mean, I'm not obviously the first.
That wasn't Harlan, though. I looked it up. It was AJ Watt, and I don't know who the play-by-play guys. Okay. We don't get CBS games very often here, so I don't know who was doing the play-by-play for the CBS. I looked it up, and I still don't remember who it was. So it was the first time, but yeah, gave the London call, and London was healthy. Mm-hmm. He got hurt in that first game. Was a shell of himself against Minnesota, and then everything went bad in Carolina.
And I just want to say, this might be, we're very defensive, trench-oriented people, Scott. But there's excitement when you take those special offensive skill position players in the top 10, like the Falcons did 4 years in a row, I guess. Mm-hmm. This might be the best collective game from those players in Falcons history. You had Drake London have a phenomenal game. I got the stats here. I'm using my phone because, of course, I don't want to clickety-clack here. But you had Drake London, 8 catches, 110 yards on 10 targets for a touchdown. Awesome. Bijan, 4 catches, 106 yards. Amazing. 17, 75 and a touchdown rushing. And then you also had Kyle Pitts show up, 570 and a touchdown, which, that's 70 is not great, but like for a tight end, that is actually really good. And then of course, Penix as well, 26, 2-1. You don't love the interception, but you'll live with it. So really, I really do think this was the best collective game from those lottery picks that we've seen in this era, even though it's, 1.5 seasons or 2.5 seasons, whatever it is. 1.5, I guess, the Penix as well. But those offensive skill guys specifically, that's exciting. That's what you drafted them to be.
The barometer for this team, and I'm going to agree with you, but I'm going to point something else out too. The barometer for this team and their mentality for me is Charlie Warner. It's Charlie Warner. 50% of the snaps or better, 2-0. 50%, 49% or lower, 0-2. And it's not just because I'm not just saying, oh man, Charlie Warner is the key to this team. No, he's really good. And I advocate him being out there, but it ends up being a mentality. Do you want to run the ball? Do you want to enforce your will? Charlie Warner being out there shows your intentions that, hey, we're going to run. And Kyle Pitts is a wide receiver. I saw a couple plays, they'll call it 12 personnel with those two on the field, but hell, he's lined up as a fullback half the time. And then I see him lined up at a fullback and 2 wide with Pitts on the other side wide. So there is no tight end, and they'll call that 12 personnel, so mixing it up a lot. But with Charlie Warner out there, it shows the intention. And the intention of this game, this team, run the ball first, set up the pass. Well, you've got 2, maybe the best running back in football. It's arguable. I won't say the best, but he's in the discussion when you talk about who's the best running back in the NFL. He gets a nomination.
You have an all-pro back.
Yeah, and Tyler Algier is also really, really good. He starts on 25 teams.
Yeah, he's top 20.
Yeah, he starts on a lot of teams. So, and then you've got a bunch invested in your offensive line. So run the ball and force your will, and things open up from there. And everything happened so much faster, Nick, so much faster. I'm looking up. When I rewatch the games, I hit that plus 15-second button, and I can usually hit it twice, maybe 3 times before the snap of the next play. This time it was once. Oh, hell, they're already at the line of scrimmage. 30 seconds left on the play clock. Thank you. Mm-hmm. They're running some play action. Yes. And it's simple things like this, and it's a little frustrating saying, why do you have to have one of those games to reevaluate, to say, oh, wait a minute, we're doing the simple stuff horribly. That's what gets frustrating a little bit to Falcons fans, I think, Nick.
You remember me banging the drum prior to last season, where it's like, well, at the end of the day, we don't know what Penix is. A lot of the questions about the depth about the wide receiver. You have Bijan and Algier. You have the offensive line. The identity of this team still needs to be the ground game and figuring out how to scheme Bijan the ball, just because he's a gazelle in space. He's a greased up deaf guy. He's this generation's Alvin Kamara. Now, Alvin Kamara is still in the league, but we know how running backs age.
Yeah, hell, he's been in the league. I covered him at Norcross. So, he's been 10 years out of high school. A generation for a running back is 7 years.
Yeah. He's been around for a bit, but really a good game for the Falcons. You talk about Charlie Warner. I want to give credit to Robert Mays, who does an awesome job with the Athletic Podcast. I get a lot of steps in, and that's one of the few podcasts that I do listen to religiously. Is Ninja there?
No, he's not.
Okay, I saw you smile and look down. So I wanted to give Robert Mays a shout out because he had a tweet I think I saw on Friday. He said one of the big indicators this season between the offenses that are good and the offenses that are not is if you have a tight end who can block. And it really changes. And it's not just the tight end. It's also the wide receivers who block. But that's a huge difference for a lot of offenses this season. And it's never obviously binary if you have, you don't, or you don't have, unless it's the offensive line / quarterback. But having a tight end who can block really changes the numbers in the offense and what you can do and just your efficiency down to down. So good to see Charlie Warner out there making plays. And you've been banging that drum since June, I feel like, Scott. So it's been big.
I said it before the Broncos game last year. Of all the guys that were hurt, the one they might miss was Charlie Warner because he's so important to the run game. In this game, if they can't run, they're in trouble, is kind of how it's set up. Curtis, real quick, Curtis, and I want to get to you before I forget this again. play I was just watching, first quarter, Bijan goes right. I think it was even a counter, comes back around right. Drake London comes down on an old school crack block, and I swear he pushes guys 3 yards back into the middle of the field.
Yeah.
I mean, watching him do the dirty work is a thing of beauty. Now, again, just like you don't want your pitchers running the bases, I don't necessarily want him throwing his head in there all the time, but knowing that what a dog he is out there, and when you need it, hey, listen, Drake, we need you to come down hard on this one. He's so good. He's so good.
I don't know if you got a chance to watch the Rams-Colts yesterday as well. Heck of a game. A lot of fun. Those are 2 playoff-bound teams. God, I love Matt Stafford. He's so good. But anyway, Puka Nacua, he catches like a top 10 wide receiver, and he blocks like an inline tight end. So that position, especially with Rams influence, Zac Robinson is out there. And I know, your star receiver, you don't really love that, but at the end of the day, it's about winning football games, and these guys are out there play to do it. So you want that from him at the end of the day. So I wouldn't lean away from it. Honestly, I wish Kyle Pitts had a little bit more of that in him as well from time to time, but he's still young and coming off injury and gaining confidence. So maybe this is a leap for Pitts going forward.
I was watching Kyle Pitts blocking, and he was doing a job. He's getting out to the second level. He's not going to take on ends. He doesn't really want to take on linebackers, but he can get out there and redirect a safety coming out and be very valuable. Curtis Case coming in and says, "Morning, Scott and Nick. I don't care what anyone says. The pistol sucks. 3rd and 1, the quarterback is 4 yards from the line. Add 2 more for the halfback to make it make sense. It's not 2 more. That's only 6 yards, brother. They line up 8. When they're in the pistol, they're 8 yards deep, because after Zac Robinson said last week, when we line up in the pistol under center, the running back's in the same spot. I went back and watched where they are, and I'm like, all right, if they're under center, well, they're lined up 8 yards deep. At least 7, though. At least 7. 6 is if they're lined up just in the shotgun. And on 3rd and short, yeah. 3rd and 1 maybe, because you can still pass out of that and then go for it on 4th down. But in I'm going to run the ball, get short yardage, I'm with you on this, and I think most people are. It's not necessarily anything against the pistol. It's your play calling out of the pistol and when you use it. The Falcons aren't the only ones that use the pistol, but they use it more than anybody. They're too predictable, out of it. But, this time, and I like Raheem Morris's quote. I think J.J. Watt quoted him and says, yeah, we're going to be predictable, but Bijan Robinson's going to get the ball. That's funny. I like that. That's when it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we know what we're going to do. You try and stop it. So thank you, Curtis.
I did want to get to one point off of this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Another trend. I don't think this was Robert Mays who pointed it out, but somebody did. It might have been Kurt Warner, Dan Orlovsky, one of those quarterbacks. But the efficiency numbers right now in the league, there's a stark difference right now between the teams who can operate the under center drop back pass game and teams who are just purely shotgun, like a massive amount of points per drive difference. So I know that Penix, been a shotgun quarterback, but really if this offense is going to go to the next level and Penix is going to go to the next level, it is eventually going to have to be, what does he look like as a drop back under center passer? Now, for now, that's okay. It's still very early in his career, and I'm fine with that. But some of the under center stuff is key, and that has to come at some point to unlock another level to the offense against, quite frankly, better defenses than what we saw from Washington on Sunday.
Rusty, good to see you. I'm going to answer this one for you, Nick. Nick, I need Denver to win tonight for my $175 parlay. We good? Yes, you are. I don't know. Denver's going to win by at least 2 scores in this game. Cincinnati is awful. This is a home game. The Broncos, this is a game where Sean Payton is going to stat pad. Look for Bo Nix to have 4 touchdowns of 5 yards or less in this game. They are going to stat pad in this game. The Broncos are going to blow out the Cincinnati Bengals tonight.
I don't know, man. I keep coming around corners expecting an anvil to fall, so I'm not going to make any declarations with that and everything, but I think Denver was the largest over-under spread this week for a reason. Jake Browning does not look good. That defense is pitiful, and they are the worst run offense in football. I mean, all Denver really asked – I can save it for the next episode, I guess, if you want to listen to me talk about this, but All Denver really needs to do is make sure they don't give up the explosive plays and limit the turnovers, because Cincinnati's just, they're not good enough. If you lose this game, you lose because the turnover
You probably won't get 5 interceptions from Jake Browning this game like they did last game, but Minnesota hung like 50 on Cincinnati, and Minnesota sucks. I mean, they're really bad right now. So, no offense to Vikings fans, but you're not a good team.
No.
2 out of the last 3 weeks show that, and you blew out the Bengals, who look just awful right now.
Yeah.
Rusty, you're in good shape. Broncos are going to cover. Sean Payton's going to reach into his inner a-hole and just run it up as much as he can. I can see something like 42-10 tonight. It's going to be a blowout.
We'll see. I do think Denver has not trailed. Didn't trail in the fourth quarter in either of those games, and they lost both of them. So they're going to be a little bit upset. But at the end of the day, no style points. It's not college football. So,
John, I want to say thanks for being a member. Hope you were doing well. Hope your testing went well with that Mustang this week. And Jerry coming in as a new member as well. Jerry became a YouTube member. So thank you for doing that. Want to come down to our super chatters like Jet Jones. Says, good morning, Scott. Nick finally got the offense going. Hopefully the bye week comes with a victory over the Bills. Oh, yeah, Bijan is that guy. And you've got a chance. This is an interesting bye week for injured reserve reasons, because you've got your 4 weeks under your belt. Then you get a 5th week as your bye. You basically get 6 weeks for your guys that were on IR that was designated for return. So can you get Taquan Graham back? Can you get Troy Anderson back? Can you get Storm back? But frankly, Eli's played well. Mm-hmm. Eli has played really well over there at right tackle. So I'm not advocating for Storm to come right into the offense anyway. I think Eli has done a serviceable job at right tackle, which is how we describe Storm. Serviceable. I think Eli, for the most part, has done a good job. But Bills look good, but this is a home game, if I'm not mistaken. The Bills are coming to Atlanta, and then the Falcons go out to the 49ers. And you lose this last game, you're staring 1-5 in the face. Now you're thinking, okay, maybe a split. I can go 3-3 till my schedule softens up. And if you never know what happens, maybe I can even win them both. There is that hope again into this season, which pretty much it all would have been lost if they came out and had a repeat performance yesterday. This was a big game. Whether it was, a banged-up Washington team or not, this wasn't about the opponent. This was about your internal abilities, and they went out and took care of business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they did. Obviously not a perfect game to give up as many points as they did to the Commanders, specifically the run defense, Scott. Looking at the stats, giving up 147 yards and 6.7 yards per attempt. That was a game where the defense was the concern that I had coming into the season, where your pass rushers aren't exactly able to pin their ears back because they are rushing the ball as well as they did. And also some issues of, letting Mariota use his legs. But, it's really hard to fault the defense too much when they, did what they did to Mariota, and the pass offense specifically, only going for 147 yards and 1 for 8 on third down. That's a winning number almost every time. 2 for 2 on fourth down. But the run defense was my concern coming out.
When the Falcons went up 2 scores, they had the Commanders in check. I mean, they had 150 yards of total offense, and this is late in the third. I thought they got a little complacent on that. They're like, okay, we're going to let you have 6 and 7 yards at a time, and you're going to use up 4 or 5 minutes to score. But the halftime stats, the Washington was 0 for 4. They had 58 yards rushing and 53-yard passing, so 111 total yards at halftime versus 205. 2 sacks to 1. Time of possession was almost 2-1. It was 19:26 to 10:34. So the Falcons, I don't have too many complaints with the defense. Yes, my only criticism on this would have been, I thought they got a little complacent a little too early, and a bad bounce somewhere could have gone. But when they needed to, I thought the Falcons had Mariota and this offense handled. And they kept them under 300 yards, which is still much less than Washington's average, even with Mariota as the last year. And Falcons fans, if I told you, again, by yards, remember, this is by yards, But the Falcons have the number 2 defense again and the number 7. I think I just looked it up. Number 7 in total yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're 7th in total yards. They've got a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense, and it still feels really shaky, doesn't it? If you go, okay, you're knocking on the door of having 2 top 5 units, that's a Super Bowl contender. Mm-hmm. Those are teams that go to Super Bowls. Right now, we don't feel like that at all until they start converting these yards into points more often like they did yesterday.
Yeah, and I'm trying to pull it up on my phone right now, just the defensive statistics for, me. It's too early for DVOA. That's one thing I appreciate about them is they wait until, I think, week 6 because you can have a really easy schedule so far, and it really wouldn't – you could have a really hard schedule.
You have one game with 7 sacks, and all of a sudden you're – top 5 in sacks, and you really don't have a great pass rush. It skews.
Yeah.
One thing can skew too much. But now we're 4 weeks into this. You're still only giving up, what is it, on defense? 244. And you have there's been a couple of pretty good offenses in there. Panthers are not, the Vikings are not, but you held the Washington below average, and you put a pretty good stranglehold on Tampa. Held them way below average, held them under 250 or right at 250, I think. So
I did want to say this
again is much improved.
Yes.
How well are they a top 5 unit in the NFL? Probably not. I think someone asked earlier, and I'm not sure if it's a super or not. Yeah, Michael asks it with stars. Good morning, guys. Are you concerned about the cornerback position? Should we go after Tyreek Woolen? Yes. Nick's shaking his head at Woolen. I'm not sure why. I'll let him go on that. He's nodding his head because we are absolutely concerned about the cornerback position. And we have been, basically since we started doing this. Mm-hmm. You got AJ, and then after that, so 5 years of really not being able to or just not investing into the cornerback position shows. Mike Hughes is okay. D. Alford is doing his best, and I don't think he's been playing better this year than he did last year, but that was a low bar. But he's a reserve. Clark Phillips hasn't really been a whole lot. Yes, I'm very, very, very concerned, Michael, and appreciate the stars over on Facebook about the cornerback position. I just don't know what you can do about it right now.
You had too many issues coming into the draft in the offseason, and they went with, talent on the board needs to dictate direction always, but you guys went to the direction that you probably should have gone, all things equal. Defensive line has been too bad for too long, and you double invested because you needed to get some return on that. And so far, seeing number 11 flash out there, what is Pierce wearing? 42? I don't even remember what he's wearing right now, but he's definitely out there flashing. Both those guys look good. Caden Ellis, another big game as well. Tyreek Woolen, I don't know. I feel like he's a little bit more of a cover 3 merchant right now. Cool. Cat just threw up a hairball. God bless. Good job. Get it out there. I won't share with you. 27. There we go. But lost my train of thought. But yeah, no, I'm with you. The Falcons defensive numbers, Scott, you are 5th right now in EPA per play. You are 6th in dropback EPA, and you are 11th in rush EPA. So all really good numbers for that Falcons defense.
And I feel like they've been willing to give up some of the rushing numbers at times. Mm-hmm. You're willing, they say all the time, you can't shut down everything all the time. Some can, but most teams can't. This team can't quite do that yet. And watching the splits, and Trenton, good to see you, Trenton. Thanks for being a member, and thank you for the super chat. Hitting a double on that one. When does the D get credit for being near the top? I think they're getting some credit. Shut down Buffalo, and the whole world will be singing your praises. Mm-hmm. That's what it was. Okay, first game against Tampa, they shut down Tampa for the most part. On most metrics, held Tampa. They absolutely shut down Minnesota. Oh yeah, but you got a rookie quarterback, and he was stinky. Carolina Panthers, the good defensive effort and holding them to 240 yards. Got blown away through all the other garbage. This one, it was Marcus Mariota. Of course, you're supposed to shut him. So the numbers are good. You are playing good defense because, again, like I've said before, we've seen the Atlanta Falcons go into situations like that and get their doors blown off. I don't care who you're playing. Right now, when you're a bad team, you've got to beat other bad teams to get out from being a bad team. Falcons are a good defense right now. Are they elite? We'll see. But they are much, much improved without a doubt. They will get the credit when they face Josh Allen and just shut them down. Because right now they're, and I'm not going to say when, if they have similar success against the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, the whole world will be singing the praises of the Atlanta Falcons defense. That's going to be one of their true tests.
It's going to be a tough one. And it's not just Josh Allen. It's the Bills have one of the most physical run blocking offensive lines in football. And they move people. If you're light on the edge, especially, good luck. Daniel Dawkins and Spencer Brown with how they utilize their tight ends as well. I mean, they got mass.
The Bills can beat you without ever throwing the ball.
Yeah, that really changed their offensive identity last season. They are a team that's supposed to be an outside team playing in Buffalo. That's what you want it to look like.
And that does not match up well with what the Falcons are doing well right now. The Falcons are a little undersized and are beating you with speed.
Yeah,
speed in their front seven. Diablo's fast. The kids are fast. Leonard Floyd's been playing like a maniac.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been playing fantastic. I would bring him back. If he plays like this, I would give him another contract next year. Probably let Ebiketie walk. Looking at snap counts, Nick, use kind of a 4-man rotation on the front line. Zach Harrison, Onyemata, Rook, Dorless, and then LaCale London got about 14 or 15 snaps at times. But it was really a 4-man rotation going in between a 3-man front and a 2-man front, depending on situation with those guys. But Ebiketie was kind of the odd man out in pass rush situations. Early in the game, they were playing that Ryan Nielsen 3-3. So it was one stand-up edge, which was Leonard Floyd early, and then in passing situations, they'd bring in a second, but then it was Divine Diablo and Caden Ellis never left the field. They'd go a 3-man front with one stand-up edge, so they were running a 3-3-5, their base nickel, which is a lot what Nielsen ran to start, and it was very successful in the first half. Absolutely very successful. Trenton, great question. Thank you so much. Follow it up. I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to hit Maurice. Trent, 89 in motion and 5 blocking downfield is bread and butter. And it's also, for old school football heads, it's poetry and motion on top of that. Watching them go right. And that was the thing, Nick. It was not just that play. It was that they go right, which is Lindstrom over there. Here comes Warner on that side. And then Drake cracking down from that same side on a run right was just, ooh. I liked that. When I was a kid, I hated it. I'm like, this is boring. They never threw it. Now I appreciate it. And it was bread and butter is how they need to be successful moving forward.
It's because you watch games in hindsight and you have a chance to actually appreciate the unit blocking. I don't think there's anything more beautiful in football. Well, maybe like a perfect strip sack or something, like a pass rush move, but an offensive line working in Congress, perfectly executing the block and just partying the seas, the running back reading it perfectly. Like seeing every single one of those guys execute their matchup and win, and then just it all work out. It's synchronized brilliance. I don't know what else to call it. Did want to give a shout out to Bucks Rays Bolts. Good to see you in here. Appreciate you. And even though the Buccaneers lost yesterday, looks like they got a superstar. Unfortunately, guys, Jason Light nails it again. And Emeka Egbuka looks incredible. Right now, he's probably on pace to be Offensive Rookie of the Year. I can't think of anybody else. Not any of the running backs. Genty had a good game yesterday, so we'll see. It's still early.
It ain't going to be Cam Ward.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the quarterback. Unless Jackson playing in New York, all you have to do is have a pulse, and Jackson Dart can win it.
Yeah. But we'll see. But also, shout out to McLaughlin, kicker, 65-yard field goal. Kicking that
outdoor in history, I think I saw.
I think so. But, yeah, kicking that not in Denver and not in a dome. That's wow.
Like I said, they need to change the kicking rules somehow. The kicking rules haven't changed since they started this business. When guys didn't make kicks, the only thing they've done, they moved the goalposts 10 yards back. That's really about it.
Narrow the uprights. I think that's just
something. You can't be in scoring position in your own half. That's just weird, especially if you're getting the ball on your 40.
The kickoff rule. Yep, absolutely.
Surge versus Stune. It's a little hard to see on here. You blend in a little bit with my background, so I want to make sure we said thank you for the stars. It is a very cool background in there. Did you AI that? I wonder. I've tried doing some of that with Grok, and I only did it once, so I might try it again. on that, but that does look cool. Maurice, it's nice being able to ask this question, isn't it? What was the best touchdown of the day? So many to choose from. What were there? 4, and
Bijan's
4 different players.
Awesome.
The first throw to Drake was really nice, and he had just taken a shot too. So I was a little worried. So seeing him come back made me feel better. What Bijan does is, again, poetry in motion. I've used that twice now because it is. Little play action to Kyle Pitts warms my heart on several levels.
A scheme touchdown for Kyle Pitts. I didn't know it was possible.
Off of play action.
Yeah.
And then Tyler Algier flattening guys. Nick, you've heard me say, why do I like fullbacks? Why do I like tight ends? Because watching big guys get loose in the secondary is part of why I like this game. And that poor defensive back that came over and tried to stop the angry runner was my favorite.
Off topic here, but we just have to acknowledge it. Did you watch the screen to Caden Proctor in the Alabama-Georgia game? Did you see the highlight for that?
I did see it. I watched it on my phone, though. It looked like just a throw over and then massive bodies pushed down the sideline.
Oh, some poor safety came down and just it looked like in elementary school, you have combined age groups for recess sometimes, and the first grader playing the fifth grader in football or soccer or something, he just bounced off of him. I don't know. I've never seen anything. I know that I've used Penny Sewell screens before, but the violence of the contact there. If you guys haven't seen the Caden Proctor screen pass, there's probably some Georgia fans in here. Sorry for your loss in that one, but my God, that was sight to behold. But my favorite touchdown was the Bijan one. He's great. He's amazing to watch, and that was just a beautiful touchdown. Not many guys end up with a touchdown in that one. He did.
Yeah, and Justin's over on Facebook. He says, I like Kyle Pitts getting in the TD in the red zone. Yep. I mean, they're all good for different reasons. You know, I mean, one was just brilliant talent to watch. Is, one of the reasons we like this game and we like sports is watching these guys do things that just normal people cannot do. That's Bijan. I mean, that's Bijan Robinson. He does things that normal professionals can't do. And that's fun to watch too. So there lots to choose from on that one, Maurice. So that was a good one. I like seeing on the defensive side of the ball, Zach Harrison crash in the pockets.
What a year for him so far.
I said Zac Robinson because we're about to talk Zac Robinson. I meant Zach Harrison.
Yeah, you said it. No, what a year for him.
I did? Okay, good.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying he's been so happy to see him. He was a 5-star prospect and took him in the 3rd round. I liked him a lot in that draft. He dealt with hamstring injuries. And, man, he's really come into his own.
He's a really good 3-4 defensive end with the ability to slide inside in passing situations and win with quickness.
Yeah.
Dorless, Rook is the one that got basically a 1st-round pick. I think Dorless has played better than Rook so far. What a surprise there, too, as far as what you're getting. Dorless has been great also in that scheme, which is, again, quickness. Let's shoot gaps and let's be disruptive, and then let our speed behind us make up for it is what they've been doing. Lots to choose from on that. Sam, good to see you, Sam. Hope you are doing well. Thank you for the super, my friend. He says, good morning, right back at you. What do you make of the Zach Oklahoma State story? It's got some legs. He was their number 1 choice last year before Gundy decided to stick around. And I told y'all, and I've written it, and I've gotten crap from people that don't pay enough attention to football that decide they want to be trolls in my comments, that Zach Robinson probably won't be here next year. And the idea of drafting a guy, and this is more kickback. I know the coffee's really kicking in, so is my ADD. The idea of drafting a guy so he can learn under the offensive coordinator for 2 years before taking over is asinine, because offensive coordinators only last 2 years. Either they're good and they get hired away, or they're bad and they're dismissed. That's the lifeline of an offensive coordinator.
Unless they're ancient.
Or unless they're calling play, they're the head coach.
Yeah.
But with the defensive coach, your offensive coordinator gets hired away, and he might come back, because they fail miserably at being a head coach.
Brian Callahan,
Charlie Weiss, Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
It goes on and on. But this has some legs now. When Ian Rappaport starts talking about it, that is almost saying this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it will happen, but he could go back, being a college coach is a pain in the ass nowadays. He could make more money than he'll ever need sticking around for a next job and interviewing for a head coaching job if he's successful this year in the NFL. Or he can go get some of that Oklahoma State money and probably put $40 million in his pocket. Even if he only lasts 2 years, they'll buy him out on a 5-year deal. So it's got some legs. It does. If they hire him, I want him to go. I don't want him to stick around and, we'll hire a staff and I'll do both jobs. No. Go. I want you to go and focus on that. That's my thoughts on that, Nick.
It's so weird because it's a 365 calendar now for those teams, and they are trying to re-recruit their own guys now. And it's not just the high school guys; it's the guys on the roster. And but they're not supposed to be talking in the portal right now. But these guys talk. Let's not be stupid, naive.
It's like dealing with free agency every single year, and you're both the general manager and the head coach. I mean, it's. I've got 85 guys on scholarship. I think it's 85. It might have changed, but roughly. And 85 of them are free agents.
Mm-hmm.
That's, again, I wrote a paper, my first paper in the fall of 91, my first English class at Auburn. I wrote a paper about paying football players. That's how long I've been on this bandwagon. Mm-hmm. It's going on 40 years that I've been on the bandwagon. They overcorrected. They overcorrected in college. Yeah, you need multi-year deals. And if someone wants to transfer and break their multi-year deal, then they have to sit out. Then they have to sit out a year. Multi-year deals solve so much of this. It's already professional. Who cares?
Yeah.
John, good to see you. John is a new member on YouTube. Got several coming in today. Thank you. We're going up like 30%. I can't wait to run that little raffle on Monday, and send y'all some coffee on that. We Sound Strange is here also. He says, rise up. What's your take on Casey Washington so far? If you've got Bijan, if you've got Tyler, if you've got Drake, and you've got Kyle firing on all cylinders, then Casey Washington is fine to do a job, to come in and catch a pass or two a game and go out there and block his ass off and play some special teams. If they're not, he's not good enough. And we talked about what's one of the questions. Not every single player is going to have a career year. It's just statistically impossible. Who's going to drop off? My first instinct was Ray McLeod. That's happening. They tried to force him the ball into some bad situations, and I think he was minus yardage yesterday. Mm-hmm. The other candidate was Darnell Mooney, and Darnell Mooney's not going to come anywhere near what he did last year because he can't stay on the field.
No. Yep, that Mooney would have been my guess. Casey Washington, my opinion is hopefully we don't have to think about him too much because you have other guys in front of him in the pecking order, and he can be, not to discredit him totally because, he does have a job to do and it does take all 53, but he can be filler in the roster. Not every single player needs to be an all-pro, Pro Bowler, first-round pick, blah, blah, blah. You need guys to come in and execute and know their role and be a part of that team. And he's seems to have done that so far. So, yeah, we'll see. But you invested, again, beginning of the show, 3 skill position guys, 4 if you include Penix, top 10 picks. Those are the guys that need to be the heartbeat of the team. I'm more offensive line quarterback, but, whatever. But they were in this game, and hopefully that can continue. You got a week to set on it, too. I mean, Scott, just how important. Broncos coming into it tonight as well. Going to 1-3, stick a fork in them. Well, I mean, you come out of that, especially if you lose to the Bills then. Broncos got the Eagles coming up next. 1-2-3 Cancun, Cabo, wherever you want to go. Maybe Tahiti. But this team now is life.
No, and I don't, yes, I'm emotional, but I try not to be overly hyperbolic, exaggerate too much.
You're right, hyperbolic.
On this type of stuff. But this game felt to me like a must win. Mm-hmm. And just because I think if they had lost, it just could have completely gone off the rails. I mean, they were off the rails, be hard to get back on the rails at that point. And you're cleaning house. Now, it could still happen. But again, as Nick just said, this team has life.
Mm-hmm.
It has life. It has hope. They have talent, which is probably more important than all of them. They have talent. This was the game that you drafted those guys for. We saw it. We saw the 4 top 10 guys play like top 10 picks all together at once, probably, as Nick said, for the first time since it happened. At least the 3. I mean, Michael Penix hasn't been around that long. He's got just a few games. But as far as Bijan, Drake, and Kyle Pitts all hitting in one game, this was probably their best. Their best.
This is what you
Keith
want.
and Ellen Johnson. That's the most emotion I've seen from Pitts in a long time, maybe ever. He had a really good play to convert. I think it was a 3rd down earlier in that game up the right seam. And then there was another short play to him where it's like, oh yeah, if I can get the ball to him going forward, short of the sticks, he is 250 pounds. He can drag people another 3 or 4 yards. So it was good to see Pitts. He's got so much to play for this year. He's got $50 million riding on this season. Easy. He's got $50 million riding on this season, Nick.
Yeah. No, it's a huge year for Pitts. And again, the whole time we've been hold on to that, because what he could be, I know Coach Killer, we've thrown it around too, but I've been hold on to him because the potential, the talent, we saw it his rookie season, still young. It sometimes takes tight ends a while. The payoff is still just so high, and it's not like it's a sunk cost, right? You already spent that 4th overall pick passing on Jamar Chase, Penny Sewell, whatever. You're not going to get equitable return. So it's better just to sit on that, because he obviously is gifted. And hopefully we'll see more, but it was great to see all 3 of those guys running all cylinders. Now it's going to be fun. You're not, even if they're all great, that's not going to be the case all the time. Now it'll be fun. We'll see how good Penix is and Zac Robinson, matchup dependent. If there's a game where the linebackers are specifically poor, maybe you're isolating Bijan or Drake more. Maybe there's a cornerback that's a gimp out there doing what you can to isolate London against them. So now it becomes the matchup game when you have a 3-headed monster like that. But that really comes down to quarterback and offensive coordinator. So Jet Jones 11. Drake's layout on the 3rd down catch was pretty sweet too. Yes, it was. That was an awesome
the closer.
Yep. Yeah, you needed it, and that was the.
I was texting with you and my best friend Jason during the game at the end, and it's like, I don't want to see them run out of 3rd and 3 on this. If they run into it for no gain, I'm going to be pissed. Close the game. And I see this a lot, Nick, watching your Broncos podcast about Vance Joseph's defense. And I disagree with those guys wholeheartedly about the defense collapsing at the end. No. You kill games with offense now. Mm-hmm. The way that the rules have changed, it is so much easier to kill the game on offense than it is to stop somebody on offense in the closing moments. The Falcons took the ball after Washington scored and cut it to 1 score, and they killed the game. They grounded out. They went for a long drive, converting first downs, grinding on the defense, leaning on their running game. And then as soon as they hit that 3rd down play where Drake goes down and catches it off of his shoe tips for the first down, that was as good as a completion that sets up the game-winning field goal. That was a game-winning, game-ending play. You cannot go into a prevent offense. I've used that phrase for 25 years, Nick, watching the Falcons blow leads. Going into a prevent offense, trying to kill the clock, going 3 and out and punting it back. It is 2025. You kill the game on offense. And that's what the Falcons did.
Especially with possessions at an all-time low. Right now, you got to be able to convert when they know what you want to do at the end and close the games out. It's your 4-minute offense? Is that technically what they call it? After 2 minutes trying to score when the game's closing out. 4-minute offense is trying to possess the football as long as you can and just slowly kill the clock, get a couple first downs, game's over. And they did that. So I know we got to get out of here, Scott. I need to clean up a hairball. God bless. He's sleeping peacefully here now.
I'm not all that hairy, honestly.
So. No, I am. My shaver's still in Seattle, my razor. But what I was going to say, same thing I said last week. You're going to love me when the Falcons lose, but hate me when they win. Not too high, not too low. It's a week-by-week league, so just because this game was great, what is the trend right now? It's in the middle between those two games. So you have the bye week now. Honestly, it's a little bit of a bummer. The bye week comes.
I disagree.
You're happy for the bye week.
I think this team, this was a huge win for them.
Yeah.
And the pressure relief that now they've got time to take a deep breath, enjoy the win, instead of what they did in Minnesota, which is everybody singing their praises, this team's legit, and then coming in and being unprepared. They can exhale, enjoy it, take 2 days and get back to work.
Yeah,
I think the bye is coming at a good time. I wish they had 2 byes.
Yeah.
But as far as the mentality of this team, I think the bye is coming at a good time.
Michael Grimmage says, "Get out of here, Negative Nancy." I'm sorry. Just kind of who I am, but again, not too high, not too low.
That wasn't for you though. That was that was somebody that wants to get banned.
Okay.
And
it could have been me.
Yeah, it could have been you.
Yeah.
But no, that was somebody that wants to get banned in Facebook. That was done, Michael. Thanks for calling that out. Again, I don't mind discussion. I don't mind other points of view. Nick and I just disagreed with Nick.
How dare
you? Disagree all the time. I said, you don't get banned for, well, I just got banned for telling the truth. No, you got banned for being an a-hole. Mm-hmm. Pamela Johnson is someone we love, a new member. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, Pamela.
Not an a-hole at
all. No, one of the good ones. So thank you so much. I hope you are doing well. There is, let's see, there was a question I wanted to see in here. I saw in here. Oh, it was from Ohaskar. That's a cool name. Are we really the number 1 passing defense so far? In total yardage, it's actually number 2. Number 2 in passing yards. You know who's number 1? The Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. They will be the best team that the Falcons have faced so far. It will be at home. And it should be a lot of fun. There should be a lot of hype around this game. And it won't define the season. This last game against the Commanders had the chance to define the season in a bad way.
Yeah.
Now the Carolina Panthers can be written off. If you move forward, the Carolina Panthers can be written off as an aberration. It happened. The Washington Commanders game had a chance to define the season. It didn't. It could be a turning point. This game, win or lose, will not define the season, but it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
I don't know. I think you're right about the negative of the Panthers not defining the season. There's the kitty. Don't throw up again. But if you come in and you beat a Bills team who right now, they had a weird game against the Saints, but you beat Buffalo, you really do have a chance to define your season and make everybody take notice. Because right now people are talking, why aren't nobody talking about the Falcons defense? Falcons have been irrelevant for so long. You're not getting national games. People aren't talking about the Falcons. You're getting the highlights of Bijan and, there's Drake London fantasy oriented. So there's still that there, but people aren't really thinking about the Falcons as a legitimate team right now. But it's a Maine Coon. He's a beautiful cat. Thanks, Harry. Don't tell me I have a big cat again though. Whatever that means. Yeah, but no, I think it can. Hopefully, it doesn't define your season. But if you beat the Bills, you definitely turn some heads, and people are like, "Oh, wait a second. We saw that Falcons team lose to the Panthers like they did, but look what they did just against the Bills here. Look out."
Yeah, but we know the Falcons are capable of winning that game and then losing the next 3. So I'm not saying it's going to define the season one way or another. Like this one could have. If you win it, great. You got to keep going. You got to show some consistency. If you lose it, that's okay. It's not going to mean anything in the long term the way this last one could have.
Yeah.
Ray Falcon, thank you for coming in and reminding us Xavier Watts is pretty damn good too.
Good game.
And he had a rookie moment. We saw some of that, Nick, some of the points you gave up. It happens. If you want to play young players, you're going to have to live with some of the rookie mistakes along with their ability to have more upside, to make plays that some of the veterans can't. And I was talking about snap counts earlier and who's on the outside looking in. Oh, that's the whole season. I'm not going to waste your time on it. Anyway, Ebiketie was low of the 4 edges. He was the lowest. Jalen Walker was the highest. He had the highest snap count, I think. It may have been Floyd, but it was Floyd and then Walker out there on that. And then Xavier Watts didn't miss a snap. Missed a tackle, got a little confused in the coverage. That happens. Also comes in, reads play, gets an interception. So all good stuff. Nick is going to bail. I think that's probably going to be just about it for all of us. So we'll say goodbye to everybody. Want to say thank you to our Super Chat superstars. That's Edward Brown, Curtis, Rusty, Jet Jones, Keith and Ellen Smith. Rio, good to see you again. Surge versus Dune, Michael, Trenton a couple times, Maurice, Sam, We Sound Strange, Chet Jones, and of course to our new members, Pamela, John, Jerry, and we had one more and another John out there as our new members. So we almost went up 50% in members. We're pushing 15.
Also,
Monday we're going to have a
Keith and Ellen Johnson.
A raffle.
Keith and Ellen Johnson.
Keith and Ellen Johnson, not Williams.
Yeah.
I didn't star his name.
Smith didn't sound right. That's wrong.
Johnson. I'm sorry. I'm going to say Williams. Johnson family.
Yeah.
We're gonna get out of here. Anthony L, hit the comments after the fact. We'll check them. If you watch us back, hit up with any questions you have, and we'll follow it up. I'm pretty religious on those comments, and if you have something for Nick, I forward it to him. So we're gonna get out of here. Thanks for being here, everybody. Enjoy this gorgeous week in the Southeast. Fall is just gorgeous. It's one of the reasons we don't like a dome. At least it opens up. It's like tailgating and football in the fall is absolutely perfect in the South.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can open up the roof. Y'all have a great rest of your week. We will see you on Wednesday. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Peace.